The Kiara was here doing my head is completely cut off. It's Claire. Welcome back to Dance Geek. You'll have to forgive me today. I've got a bit of a head cold, and that's why I'm sounding really nasal and I'm feeling really slow and lethargic. But the show must go on. Today we're going to be discussing my top 5 tips. Top 5 tips to take your competition routines up to the next level. These are really useful for all competition groups, but especially if you, as teachers, if you're really not understanding why your groups aren't placing or why they're not doing any better. I've taken these 5 tips from my experience as an adjudicator. I've been adjudicating since the end of 2012, so nearly six full years now, and these are the things that I see time and time again. It's really hard as teachers to get a routine competition ready, because you need to teach your kids to dance, you need to teach them basic dance technique, then you have maybe exams that they're working towards, and then you've got to factor in the other thing that comps are their own little world. What we require of dancers, what we require of them in the industry to work is not necessarily what's going to win comps. But I've found that if you can focus on, or add these 5 tips to your routines, they can help you to give your kids that satisfaction of doing better at comps. There are also 5 things that are going to help in the industry as well. So you're not going to hear in this video, make sure you're doing triple turns, make sure you're doing lots of acro skills. No. That's not what this is going to be about. This is about taking the routine you've already got and adding value to it from a different perspective. And these are things that are really hard as a teacher to see on the whole what's going on. A lot of the time we're side stage as teachers when our groups are on. So these are my 5 most common things that I see as an adjudicator that will really help to take your groups to that next level, and hopefully you'll start cracking into that winner's circle. Tip number 1 is make sure your spacing has an awareness of center. It's really important that every single member of the team understands what shape they are making, what shape the whole group is making, and where that shape is in relation to center stage. They then need to figure out where they are in relation to center stage. This is super important for competitive dancers because they do not perform on the same space every time. Some you get to and you're like, whoa, how are we going to fit our group in this space? It's so small. Or vice versa, you might have 6 dancers in a massive stage. Whatever it is, you need to make sure the formation has an awareness of the center of the stage. I've done a little very dodgy but effective animation on how to show this and to illustrate why this is so important.
So here's our 5 little dancing girls bouncing in. Now they're in a fairly good straight line, horizontally anyway, but as far as their spacing goes, the spacing between each other, one of them is out. There's our center stage line. Now each of these girls should be the same distance from the center as each other. So green and yellow should be the same distance from the center as each other. Orange and grey should be the same distance from center, and the girl in blue is in the center. So here we can see the gaps in between, and on the end here, grey is too close. She's too close to yellow. Their space between them is too narrow. So we're going to move her over, and now we have a balanced straight line. Next formation is a triangle. This is a little more complicated. We've got our girls turning and dancing, and whilst they're dancing it can be a little bit difficult to figure out who's out. But when they're standing still and we draw a triangle around this space, we can see here the girls at the points are okay. It's green who's out. She's a little too far back and a little too far out. So we want to bring her in. There you go.
My second tip has to do with unison. So a lot of the time in a group, spacing and unison are the most important things. And we as teachers will drill unison over and over and over and over again. On crit sheets, I will write this as use the music and stronger technique from all members to tighten your unison. Okay, so there's two little tips in there. Use the music to tighten your unison. So to the students, you know how your teacher will like sing the choreography? 5, 6, 7, 8.
Left, right, point, turn, left, point, marching, left, right, up, down, up, and through. 1, 2, turn, and up, marching, left, right, lead, cross, contract. Okay.
They'll sing the choreography. They'll sing it to the music. You get to hear and feel where each step is supposed to go and the accents. Unless you're working with a really, really boring choreographer, you're not going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 strict tempo steps. There's going to be highs and lows and accents. You're going to be using and counts. You'll be dancing through some bits to get that style and flavor. It's really, really important that you as dancers listen to the music, but also to how the choreographer is singing those steps to see how they work. If everyone's coming out of a pirouette, for example, if they're coming out of that double pirouette and they know that they need to hit out to second on to and. So it's 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, and. Not 1, 2. Okay, to and. Unison in musicality can really, really take your unison to another level, but it also means that it's got much more of an artistry to it if the unison is coming from musicality and not coming from being drilled like robots. Okay, the second part of that is using strong technique. Now this is really, really basic. If we go back to our example of a double pirouette where we need to come out on 2 and, if you have strong technique from every member, then their muscle memory is going to be really, really good. And that double pirouette, it's going to be quite simple for them to do 2 turns, 2 and, land out in second on the and count. If the technique is not great, wobbles are going to happen. As a secondary point to that, speaking directly to the teachers and the choreographers, don't make the work too hard. If your group are not quite solid on their triple pirouettes, change it to a double. By all means, have them working towards a triple in class and in rehearsals, but my advice is play it a little bit safe with your technical level at the comp. Okay. You don't have to do difficult steps. What you do, you have to do with good technical execution and with good unison, okay? And you're more likely to get a better score if it's a clean and slightly easier routine. Tip number 3 is try to neaten and strengthen the connecting steps. Now this is one that I was really shocked when I started adjudicating that this was such a problem, because when I was a kid, the connecting steps, ballet runs, pas de bourrées, anything that steps into a bigger skill, we were drilled on those big time. And then I went back and looked at what I was teaching my kids, and there's an emphasis now on bam, on the big stuff. There's an emphasis on you need to be able to do triple pirouettes, not doubles. You need to be able to do Russian jetés, not just a normal jeté. It's all about the trick and the big wow factor. The problem is how you get into that step, that's dancing. So this doesn't just mean stretch the feet, but let's face it, that's pretty much what it's going to be. But in a lot of your contemporary or tap routines, it's simply going to mean make sure every time you put your foot down, it's done deliberately and with proper alignment. That's going to refer good alignment up through the legs, and it also, so not only is it going to look better, it's going to mean that every time you've got your foot down on the floor, It's then going to come back up again to do the next step, and it's going to come up with strength. And that's what I mean by neaten. Neaten and strengthen. Neatening is generally just going to make it look better. Strengthening is going to make it useful. Tip number 4. Make sure everyone is projecting the same feeling or story to the audience. Now, this is a complicated one. I go into this in great detail in my workshops, but basically, I'm not saying all have the same facial expression, because that, quite frankly, scares the bejesus out of me when you've got like 18 kids on stage and they're all exactly feeling the same emotion at once. It's a little bit Village of the Damned for me.
We know all your secrets.
That's unnatural. You're not clones, but you are all trying to tell the same story. So think of it this way. Everyone needs to have, in your spacing, you all need to have the same awareness of center. You all need to have the same awareness of story, and you all, no matter where you're standing on stage, no matter what role you have to play, you all need to have the same feeling, the same motivation, to use an acting term. This is, like I said, really hard to give you advice on how to fix this. It's not a quick fix. My main tip would be talk about the story. If there's no story and it's just emotion, then talk about how the steps connect to the emotions. How do the steps connect to the energy of the piece? How do the steps connect to the music? Okay, so if it's a classical piece and there's no storyline, talk about how the music and the steps relate to the emotion and the energy projection, because you don't want your piece to just be smiling the whole way through. Okay, you want variety, we want light and shade. That's what makes a piece beautiful and engaging to watch, but everybody needs to be on the same level. Okay, tip number 4, be careful with your entrances and exits. This is basically kind of comes from that whole idea of don't touch the curtains. It's also just make sure your entrances and exits are clean and logical. Traffic, know your traffic. Know how your traffic getting to and from a position, how it fits on the space where you're at. This takes some on the fly kind of thinking in a lot of cases. You might get to a theatre and it's you thought it had 4 wings, it doesn't, it's got 3. So you need to be connecting with the people on the other side of the stage. All right, so if you know you're going to be coming in and making one straight line across the stage, and you've got one group coming from here and one group coming, you know, further up stage, then, well, that's not going to work, is it? No. So talk to each other, like motion to each other. Don't actually yell out across the stage, but gesture to each other and go, you move to that wing, no, you move to that wing, no, that kind of thing. Entrances and exits are often what separates first place from third or nothing. Because good, clean entrances and exits, I shouldn't see it. The judge shouldn't see those entrances and exits unless you are actually doing a big spectacular, you know, lift or a big jump or something on that. But if it's just coming into a formation, they should just happen. They should smoothly transition. Okay? If you're coming on stage and bringing the curtain with you, it's very distracting. And we don't want anything to distract from what you are trying to create. Okay? So when you've been told not to touch the curtains because the curtains are expensive, and if you touch the scrim and you break it, then that's, you know, $20,000, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, that's true. But it's also about not ruining the magic that you're creating. Okay, it's as simple as that. Okay, so hopefully those 5 tips will give you a different perspective and help you to take your routines to another level. All 5 of those tips though, they formed the basis of the programs that I've written, that I run in workshops. The idea of these Dance Geek workshops is I'm not going to teach you choreography, I'm not going to teach you how to dance, the technique part of it. What I'll do is I'll value add. So listen, your teachers know what they're doing. You guys, teachers here in Australia that I've seen, you guys know what you're doing. But it's a big ask. The bar has been set so high and it jumped up there so quickly. And I just feel like in my position as an adjudicator and also with my background in theatre, I could come at it from a different perspective, and that's a perspective that teachers can't always have. I can come in and give you a different perspective. So in a Dance Geek workshop, we go through where your routine is at the moment, and then basically I'll give you an extended adjudication. Okay? A Dance Geek workshop is not me coming in with a set program and going, here it is. Okay? It's me coming in and a value adding to what you're already doing, because you're already doing a great job. If you're running a business, you're already doing a great job. Now, the exciting thing is I've got a giveaway at the moment. This giveaway is in collaboration with Kiara Rose Design. Kiara was here for my Weissman costume review. Kiara's a beautiful dancer. She's also a fully trained and amazing costume maker, and she makes incredible headpieces with her costumes, and she has actually given Dance Geek, she's given me 2 amazing tiaras to give away. Both of these are handmade by Kiara Rose Designs. Now if you need a headpiece for your costume, no matter where you are in the world, contact Kiara Rose Designs, show a picture of your tutu or your costume or whatever it is, and she can make it for you. These are all completely handmade. The bases, everything are completely handmade. It's not, she doesn't buy a comb and attach it to a comb. These are proper millinery grade tiaras. They are amazing. If you win one of those tiaras, you will also receive a video adjudication from me. It will be one of my deluxe package ones, so you will get written notes, you will get lists of other resources that you can go that will help you with applying the tips that I give you, and you will get a video of me referring back to your video and giving you extra tips. Now, how you enter. Okay. You need to go to Dance Geek on Instagram, and basically go to Dance Geek on Instagram. Dance Geek Claire, C-L-A-I-R-E, put it across the screen. Dance Geek Claire on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram and you will see a post there giving you all the instructions on how to enter. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it was helpful. Head on over to the Instagram page and get the details on the competition. Good luck to everyone who's going to enter. Good luck to everyone with the upcoming comp seasons. Please remember to hit the subscribe button down below and the notification bell so that you can get notification on when the next video is coming up. The next one is similar format to this, but will be all to do with solos. So my 5 tips for solo competitions. Hit the thumbs up if you liked this one, because it really, really does help me out, help a girl out. Thank you. And I'll see you in the next one. Happy dancing.